all verse rising soul family. So we got Freemasons, soulless vibrational sellouts like Deshae Frost, Duke Dennis, Smoothio, and FloridamadeMG, right? All four of those guys are part of the Freemasons, man. Why do you think they get so many views? Especially Primetime Hitler and Taekwondo, right? Taekwondo and Primetime Hitler, they're part of the whole manosphere, the red pill manosphere and shit. They're a bunch of lames, man. They're a bunch of sellouts, and here's why. They literally, bro, Primetime Hitler, he literally paid these fucking females to be in his videos, right? Ain't because the fucking females find him like sexually attractive and shit like that. They see these YouTubers like Taekwondo and fucking Primetime Hitler, FloridamadeMG, DeShae Frost, and Smoothio, and Duke Dennis. They see them as a dollar sign. That's all it really is. And they just fake, and these females be faking a good game with these dudes that be social media famous and pretend like they're like emotionally and sexually attracted to these dudes, but they just into them because of the fucking money. They're social media famous. It's like when a guy's social media famous or a famous celebrity, the female's only into them because of the dollar sign. They're not really into the dude, right? We know this. FloridamadeMG. FloridamadeMG is a fucking lame. Why? He always gotta like get all these females with all this fucking money in his videos, right? Especially when he was with the light-skinned girl, the light-skinned college girl. You know, if you see the videos of FloridamadeMG and you see the titles like "College Girl Teaches Me How to Read" or he leaves money behind to the females to see if they'll take the money to do a loyalty test, but that's a poor way of testing a female's loyalty. You don't do this with money. You don't do it. If you want to test a female's loyalty, you know exactly what to do. Like if she talking so much shit about her roommate or whatever guy it is, and then later on she reveals to you that she be recently, having her sex on with this roommate or any guy that she was talking trash about to you, she fake. But other than that, man, FloridamadeMG, Smoothio, Duke Dennis, DeShae Frost, Primetime Hitler, Taekwondo, all these dudes in the red pill manosphere, they're a bunch of sellouts, man. Like, of course, they was born into these Freemason families, man. We know this. Every time YouTube pops up on your news feed, you always see Duke Dennis, you always see FloridamadeMG, you always see Smoothio, you always see Taekwondo, you always see Primetime Hitler, you always see DeShae Frost in your news feed, and you don't gotta be subscribed to them. Because why? They go with the YouTube protocol. They go with the white supremacy protocol. Anytime that you see like a bunch of melanated people going with the white supremacy social media protocols, they're gonna get views and recognition, right? Now there's some things about these melanated people that were not slaves in ancient times, like the Moors. Those melanated people that you be seeing being famous people and all that, obviously they're part of that lineage, because any melanated people that did not come from lineages where they were slaves, bro, come on now. What are we talking about here, man? Just think. FloridamadeMG, a social media famous guy, right? You already know his family lineage is like a part of the Moors, the damn financially rich melanated people that were not slaves. Duke Dennis, a part of the Moors. Smoothio, fucking Primetime Hitler, Taekwondo, DeShae Frost, all these dudes that I just mentioned, all these social media famous dudes, they literally a part of melanated people that were not slaves in ancient times. The baby is a famous guy. He comes from a lineage where his ethnicity of melanated people were not slaves, because it's true. If the ethnicity group of your melanated people, where they're Africans or Caribbeans or slaves, there's no fucking way you're going to be social media famous. There's no fucking way in possibility. Like literally, you gotta comprehend, like anytime you see melanated guys or melanated women in general that are social media famous, just know that they come from a family lineage of Freemasons. Those lineage of melanated people were not slaves, aka Moors. And yeah, Smoothio, FloridamadeMG, Primetime Hitler, Taekwondo, Duke Dennis, Deshae Frost, all these social media famous guys, they come from a family lineage of Freemasons, which means that their family heritage was never slaves. Any melanated person you see on social media that's not YouTube famous, Instagram famous, or social media famous, obviously their family lineage must have been slaves in ancient times from the European white folks. Obviously, right? I'm not social media famous, so I know a lot of my family lineages had to be slaves if I'm not social media famous. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Just think about it, man. Because we all know how in the Western societies, that's all created by European teachings. They say like melanated people are bottom of the food chain. So if you do see a melanated person being social media famous, just know that people like deshae Frost, FloridamadeMG, Smoothio, Duke Dennis, Primetime Hitler, all these dudes, man, that social media famous, just know that they are from Freemasons. And Duke Dennis did a video with NLE Chopper. We all know NLE Chopper's family lineage is of Moors, Freemasons. Because how would he be able to be famous if his family members or family lineages were slaves? It's not going to happen. You gotta think about that. And that's where I wanted to point out, man, a lot of these YouTube famous people, they come from lineages of Freemasons. Because do you realize what you had to do to be social media famous? Do you realize what you would have to do to like literally get so many views and have so much money from social media? Do you realize the things that you would have to do behind the scenes? You would literally have to, you would literally have to do things that you don't want to do in order to be social media famous. Just imagine the stuff that FloridamadeMG, Primetime Hitler, Taekwondo, Duke Dennis, Smoothio, all these different type of dudes, McQueen, you know, all these social media famous guys, they had to do some nasty stuff with some demonic rituals to be social media famous, along with Kai Cenat, along with Phantom, along with Agent 00, the whole AMP team, RDC World. Yes, their family lineages is part of fucking Freemasons too. Why do you think they're fucking social media famous? Why do you think that people that's like spiritually awake, anytime they might post on social media, they're not getting 1,000 to 1 million views? I'm gonna talk about that in the next topic. Why do you think people like Smoothio, Primetime Hitler, Taekwondo, FloridamadeMG get so many views on their videos on some stuff that don't even make your brain think? You get so they get, these guys that are social media famous, they get so many views and subscribers and followers on posts that don't even make you think and don't even make you feel, don't even like expand your creativity, but it gets so many views. Why? Because they're Freemasons. Why? Because they fit the YouTube protocol of white supremacy, and they're not gonna go against that. These are fucking sellouts, man. They're Moors, Masons. These Duke Dennis guys, these FloridamadeMG guys, these Smoothio, Primetime Hitler, Deshae Frost. Deshae Frost be having videos with like all these different women in Miami for 24 hours and stuff like that. You know he's been with the Freemasons. Come on now. You know he been with them. Cause there's no way that random women is just gonna come from different locations for a random dude in Miami, Florida for 24 hours for different episodes. It's not going to happen. Like, come on, we know this. That proves that Deshae Frost is a sellout, a Mason. You know, deshae Frost family lineage comes from Freemason, the Moors. Why do you think he's social media famous? Anytime a melanated person is social media famous or a big time celebrity, they come from Freemason Moors, man. They don't come from African slaves, Caribbean slaves. They don't come from, because, bro, come on, think about it. All the spiritually awake melanated people come from lineages where they're African and Caribbean heritages, or it's fucking slaves from the fucking European slave owners and the fucking Freemasons. So like, anytime you take heed to guys like Taekwondo and Primetime Hitler and Smoothio, Duke Dennis, deshae Frost, FloridamadeMG, RDC World, AMP Group, any social media famous person in general, you literally are falling into the trap of indoctrination, because these social media famous dudes are literally following the white supremacy protocol to fucking keep the masses asleep. This is all I'm gonna tell you. Stay tuned for the next topic about that RDC World thing and what my thoughts about it.